In all honesty, I hate staying home alone. I admit it. I was paranoid. Still am. I always played it off like I was brave and strong, but that was only on the outside. Sure, my windows could be locked just as well as my door. My lights could be on in every room, but I just never felt safe. I know that doesn't make any sense. I know that just as well. But I couldn't convince myself that. I always felt like something was watching me. I never had my back to an open space as much as I could. I'd turn around, reassuring myself nothing was there, but I would still have the same feeling when I turned back around. It's one of the terrifying flaws of the human anatomy, not being able to see what's behind you at any given moment. And trust me, it's really terrifying. No. I believe in the paranormal. And I had many encounters. I was comfortable with most. Some entities were there to comfort me. I take no shame in saying I spent almost a month of my life talking to an entity named Charlie at night, just to get to sleep. Charlie was a good man, who had taken his life. He was just as mentally damaged as I was, and when I moved out of the house, I was sad to see him go. I never got to say goodbye. Going back to the staying at home part of my rant, I encountered my first negative paranormal phenomena when I was about 12. I think it was 12, yeah. It was 12. And I was home alone, of course. At that time, I was getting used to being home alone, but you could bet I was super confident in proving my parents that I was a strong, young man, ready for anything, and I regret that. My grandfather was in the military during the war era, and because of this, he had some pretty nifty stuff lying around. He had passed away, but he left all the gadgets and stuff to me when I grew up. These gadgets included shortwave radios, and that he had used to intercept and decipher enemies as well as ally messages. He saved lives of many by figuring out some group would strike said area at like said time. He did this all through listening to dips and scratches of radios. The first time I turned on the shortwave radio was magical. The sound was so ethereal. It was the sound of the stuff we couldn't see. That technology allowed us to communicate and listen silently. I had sat there at Grandpa's old desk for hours, just twisting the dials and listening for something. 8, 3, 2, 3, 5, 5, 1. Grandpa had said most of the things I would hear would just be the turning of the channels for the stations. Just for fun transmissions between fans of shortwave, military channels, and that are still in operation. He said not to worry about too much. But he did say, report any foreign languages that were still being spoken by a living person. Still a bit paranoid after the war. Those numbers. Just numbers, I thought. Maybe they were some hobbyist code. Or maybe it was just some random garble that had slipped between channels. But then I realized that it was my phone number. Coincidence? Definitely. and no connection with me. I was 12 years old. I was a 12-year-old guy. Why would any shortwave radio station be contacting me? 25, 15, 21. Numbers. Just numbers. Wait. They had to mean something. Quickly working out the alphabet on my hands, I deciphered it as U. This is getting weird. Will. Whoa! That was loud. It was almost like a burst of static. Still kept firm and... coincidence theory. But I jolted down. You and Will. For good measures. Sat there, listening like an idiot. For another hour. What came next? Just staticky dips and waves and, you know, radio. I listened carefully for peaks and words. B? That questioning tone made me believe that the radio had just picked up some broadcast. I've seen it happen before. It was a certain paranormal investigation tool that scanned for words that peaked in the radio's broadcast. Maybe it was like a fluke. Or not. Okay. The radio stopped working. The knobs didn't turn anymore. Sure, it was a half a decade old. Maybe it just had died. You will be okay. That was on my mind as I nervously climbed the stairs in my bedroom. I left all the lights on. I slipped into my bed and I didn't feel right. I don't know what didn't feel right, but something was wrong. Felt the sheets lift up, a breeze. Maybe my windows open a tad. Yeah, that was it. I felt the warmth creeping towards my arm. At this point, I was paralyzed. I didn't know if it was sleep paralysis or some random thing, but I didn't want to move anyway. You'll be okay. The radio was louder than ever. I ran downstairs and into the office. It was off. The knob was still stuck and turned to the same channel. I was going crazy. I had to be. Walk into the bathroom, splash some water on my face, and relax. Across my chest, inscribed deep red scratches, were the words I had feared the most for the last hour. You will be okay. Going back to the staying at home part of my rant, I encountered my first negative paranormal phenomena when I was about 12. Yeah, 12. Was it 12? Yeah, I was 12. And home alone, of course. At that time, I was getting used to being home alone. But you get bet I was super comfort in proving to my parents I was strong, young. Oh my God, this is a girl. Oh, I should be using my lady voice. Lady voice, yes. My grandfather was in the military during the war era. Because of this, he had some pretty nasty stuff lying around. He had passed away, but he left all the gadgets and stuff to me when I was grown up. These gadgets included a shortwave radio, that's read of the century. Shortwave radios. Oh wait, no. Shortwave radios. Alrighty. Oops, Facebook. Ha. That's actually kind of funny.